Hi everyone. Hi there. Welcome to the first of the Flushing Fridays, which we're going to be doing for the next few months. Gosh, actually it's 10, 11 weeks, which is really exciting. So really chuffed to kick this off today, and thrilled to be joined by Lorraine Keane, will be joining me in a few minutes. And I'm going to be doing these for the next few weeks as a run up to the summit in September. And the guests that are taking part on the Menopause Success Summit on the 25th of September will be joining me throughout these Flushing Fridays. So hopefully you'll all get to join in or watch them back and enjoy them. Hi Marianne. Hi Mary. Hi Maureen. How are you? Great. I'm just going to see. I see Lorraine is here now, so give us a sec.
Yay! We
Hey!
did it!
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you to my technical expert, my 17-year-old Amelia.
Oh, brilliant.
She's just
There's,
leaving the room. Thanks, honey.
there's,
Oh,
there's
it's
always
great.
need for one in the house, Lorraine, isn't there?
Oh, listen, I know it's desperate, and actually, it's like all of us. We doubt ourselves. I probably maybe could have done it, but I was afraid to chance it.
Yeah. That little bit of, the kind of be faltering of the confidence, which is,
Yeah.
as we know, can happen a fair bit in menopause, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I think getting older, in general, youth is definitely wasted on the young.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do second
Yeah.
guess ourselves and doubt ourselves, and we can't be doing that, girls. We need to be more
Yeah.
confident and empower ourselves and empower each other by
Mm.
talking and
Yeah,
helping.
big time, big time. Yeah, that's a big message to the next generation, isn't it? And I think, Lorraine, I'm so thrilled to have you involved in the summit for September. And as you know, it's going to be a really exciting day. And the whole idea behind it is very much continuing what I try and do, and I know you've been working on for the last number of years, is just trying to empower women with knowledge around menopause. And I think, you've been very, very open with your own journey through menopause over the last, I think, 5, 6, probably
Yeah,
plus
6 years.
years.
Yeah. And back then it wasn't in mainstream news. It was a difficult thing for me to come out and talk about because it's such a personal thing, but also the stigma that has been attached to the word menopause, peri
Mm.
or otherwise. And I suppose for me it was because I had suffered in silence for so long. Um, because I was poorly educated, I purposely didn't even look at magazine articles or anything online that had perimenopause or menopause because I just thought, well, that's for somebody much older than me. I'll face
Yeah.
that when I come to it. Um, and it was Clean Marine Menamin, the supplement that I take, that I love, and I'm so passionate about it because it works for properly, genuinely works for so many women. And it's great to be able to do the natural route if you can. They contacted me, Catherine, and asked me, would I be interested? It was the PR woman, Mary Crotty, contacted me and said, would I be interested in working with natural health supplement? And I said, yeah, sure, let's talk about it. What is it? And she said, well, it's Irish. And I said, that's fantastic, even
Yeah.
better. And I said, what's it for? And she said, menopause. And I nearly fell off my chair. So I was like, are you for real? Why would I pretend I'm 50 when I'm not? The business that I work in can be quite ageist for
Yeah.
females as well. But it wasn't until Mary started talking about some of the symptoms and on the phone. And I thought, oh God, that's me. That's me. That's me too. And as I said, I didn't know. I didn't know that's what I was going through since my late 30s. I mean, perimenopause is normally 40 plus and menopause is normally 50 plus. But I had, really suffered in silence and gone through all sorts of things that I shouldn't have,
Yeah.
if I'd known then what I know now.
And I think that's one of the big things that's coming out now about menopause is the fact, yes, we're talking about it, but I think also people are really getting to understand that menopause isn't just, it's not for older women. Like menopause can happen really younger. And then plus the fact we're all living longer. So
Yes.
really, menopause is really happening when we're actually just halfway through, I think,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's like anything, I thought the obvious symptoms were your periods stop and you get flushes. I still have regular periods and I've never had a hot flush.
Yeah.
So because I didn't have the two obvious symptoms, I didn't dawn on me for a second. And that's the thing about educating ourselves and knowing that there are options out there. There are things that we can do firstly for ourselves, like lifestyle changes. I know Sarah, the nutritionist, is going to be on talking
Yeah.
about our diet, which is hugely important. So there are things that you can do for yourself that cost nothing. Exercise, again, at different stages of our hormonal journey. We have 5 stages of our hormones, Catherine, as you know, starts in puberty and goes up to post-menopause. Menopause is only the final stage of that
Yeah.
journey, but because it had that kind of taboo and the kind of connotation that it was, as you said, the older ladies problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, women have been afraid to talk about it and come out and share their stories. And really, it's just the final stage, girls, and you're better off being armed and dangerous, knowing your options,
Yeah.
and whether it's
I love
lifestyle,
that. Yeah,
yeah,
I
whether
love
it's
that,
natural
Lorraine.
or HRT. Like there's lots of options out there, but just have
Yeah.
the information. Don't be scared of it. Go through it and get out the other side and live your best life, because as you said, we're living longer, so
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
I'm going to be around for another 30-40 years after menopause.
Yeah, yeah, and I like what you said there, like armed and dangerous, like that's the key. Like it is so important that we have the knowledge, because if you don't have the knowledge, like you don't have a clue.
No.
You really don't. And like you didn't understand when you were kind of, because you went into it earlier than the average woman.
Yeah.
How you wouldn't have even been thinking about menopause. It
No.
wouldn't have been on your radar.
No, I was thinking of having more children,
Yeah, yeah,
unfortunately. And again, that's the other thing, our hormones affect our fertility so much, Catherine. Another reason why I came out to talk about it, because I thought, put your money where your mouth is. You're always saying you're a woman's woman, women supporting women. And this is something, that you could actually help a lot of women and couples, because Peter and I went through 3 IVFs after we had Romy. I had difficulty conceiving Romy, so I was on Clomid, the fertility drug, and then went through IVF when I was in TV3, actually presenting expose twice, which was so difficult,
yeah,
injecting yourself
yeah,
in the
yeah.
toilets every day and out and about, running around like a maniac to present that show and interview, and always trying to look presentable with a smile on your face. And I don't know how I did it, but the reason I actually left expose was to give us our kind of last and final third chance. And I remember Peter saying to me at the time, but if you leave the show, because the clinic had said you need to slow down, you're so
Yeah,
stressed, you're not giving yourself the best chance. But Peter said, if you leave your own show, which I wanted, for so long, and it doesn't happen, it's a big risk, Lorraine. What are you going to do? Are you going to be disappointed? And I thought about it, and I knew that I wouldn't, because I said to him, if it doesn't happen, and I've left full-time work, at least, even though I would have had another child, I'll have made the time to enjoy the 2 that I do have, that I'm
yeah,
very grateful for. So for me, it was never a risk. It was a win-win, regardless.
yeah, yeah.
And I've had the most amazing adventure in the last 12 years since, doing all sorts of things, including this, which is one of my favorite things to do. It's funny, it was one of the scariest things I ever said yes to come out and go around the country on public talks and front a campaign called Let's Talk Menopause. And yet it's probably been the most rewarding one,
Yeah,
my favorite one to
yeah,
date. That
yeah,
and cash relief, yeah.
yeah. But I can totally understand that, because I know from, the hundreds of women like I've talked to, when you can, when women can understand that actually they're not going mad, that actually this is normal.
Yeah.
Like it just the relief that comes with that is just, I mean, I don't think anyone really understands how big that relief is unless you're sitting in that seat, and then you
I
can
know.
really, you know.
I know. I mean, when I think of it, the symptoms that I had, I wasn't sleeping well at night. But then because I was, newly kind of self-employed, well, when I was working at TV3, it was because I was working like a mad thing 6 days a week. But after I left TV3, you know, I was stressing over the fact that I was self-employed and saying yes to everything. So I was still working, trying to because I owned my own diary for the first time in my life, trying to do things, 3 days a week and then spend the rest of the time with the girls. And then so there was a lot of thoughts and ideas and all that going through my head, as a lot of women do, because we juggle anyway, we're multitaskers. So I was waking up, gosh, 3 to 5 times a night. And then it would take me 20 or 30 minutes to get back to sleep. So you can imagine how little sleep I was getting. And then I'd wake up the next morning and I'd be so tired and have no energy. I had absolutely no libido. I, was kind of down and low. And all of those things I blamed on the fact that I wasn't sleeping. And the fact that I wasn't sleeping, I blamed on the fact that I was just so busy and full of ideas. And that's what, all women do. And it wasn't at all. And as a result, then, I was losing my hair. I had joint pain, itchy skin, mood swings. It was just, God, I sound like such a total wreck, don't I? When I think about it, my God. That's a joy to live with, Catherine.
That's all the perimenopause boxes. Tick, 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 tick.
I know. But anyway, yeah.
What's your thoughts on, and because you see this, more than even any of us, in terms of there's been so much in the media recently about menopause. What's your thoughts on that, having, like, we've both been around when there hasn't been as much talk, whereas now it's like amazing. Pandora's box.
Yes, I know. It's incredible. We need the Late Late Show to do a show on menopause. That is my next thing. Yeah. It's just incredible. It's fantastic. And I admire Joe Duffy and RTE for giving it so much time. I mean, I think they nearly did 3 weeks on the subject. And it was just for all of us women to hear the stories, and sometimes the familiar stories, things that we've been living ourselves from other women, was liberating, and it is empowering. And I think that is, taking control of your health and minding yourself and not feeling guilty, Irish mother, Irish woman, for doing that is huge. And yeah, I'm just thrilled. And Virgin Media, as you know, have also been so supportive, and over the years have had me on so many times talking about it. But it's great. It's great that it's out there now, and we have to keep the conversation going. And well done to you, Catherine, because you do so much in that area.
I try.
And honestly, and to get 15, is it 15 expert speakers together?
Yeah.
The very first online menopause event.
Yeah, and we're going to we've viewers globally from all parts of the world. Australia, I know we've got the US, we've got Brazil, loads of Europe as well, which is just brilliant. Yeah, so I mean, look, the I think, like any coverage, and I always say that, whether it's media sensationalizing something around HRT or whatever it is, any coverage around menopause is good, I think. But the important thing is that we keep a balanced conversation, so that women have that knowledge and power that you want them to have, just in terms of being able to make informed choices. And I think that's key, and that's really what the aim of the summit is, that it's going to be experts in the field from different areas who can provide, up-to-date, current information.
Options.
On exactly.
Aileen just said, there's Aileen Lindo, France. So France as well.
Great, very good,
Aileen. Great. From France.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. It's just so great just to see so much interest. And I think that the thing too is, it is fabulous if you can do an event together in place. But I think with COVID and the way things are, at least this way, people can get the knowledge, and it can be, at home, whenever, however
and all
works
over the
best.
World.
Which is great. And I think too, as I do a lot of work in workplaces, educating around menopause, and I think that's the other part. That's the other part that's really important, to kind of keep an eye on, and just make sure that it's across society that we're spreading the word, is just really, really important.
Yeah, I'd love to get into schools. I'd love the conversation to start in, 5th class, not even secondary school.
Yeah. Well, I think, I think SPHE, wherever we can get it in, we need it in on the curriculum. That's a definite, because it's education all the way from like your young daughters all the way up. That's, you know, what we really, really need to do. That's the important part of it. And what from you're ahead of many women in terms of your true menopause, you know, you've been in it longer. What would you say are your top tips that you would give to women?
Oh, I think firstly to educate yourself, as we were just saying, you know, to find out more about it and what your options are. Talk and share with your girlfriends, your sisters, your neighbours, with every female and male. The men need to know about it as well. And actually at the talks that I did, you know, around the country up until last year with endocrinologist Dr. Mary Ryan and Sarah Burton,
Who's coming on in a few minutes.
And Clean Marine, like those talks were fantastic because we were able to reach out to people and hear, you know, people's personal stories. And now we've got the podcast obviously as well, because we couldn't do the live events. So that podcast, Let's Talk Hormone Health, is up there. So have a listen to that, because again, I interview lots of experts on the subject. Do something straight away, you know. Don't wait until you become overwhelmed by the whole thing, you know, act on it straight away. And yeah, just, I suppose, know that the symptoms that you're suffering are just hormonal. You know, don't feel like you're going crazy. You know, because you do, and you know, you have mood swings and ups and downs and rage and all sorts. Just don't beat yourself up. You know, it's tough enough being a girl. You know, you have to go through so much as it is.
I think that's, though, Lorraine, that's where the education piece that we've been working on, you know, and so many have been working on over the last number of years, and Dr. Mary Ryan and others as well. I mean, you know, that piece is the building blocks. It's the foundation for the future, it's not just for girls, it's for men as well, because they're going to be someone's partner at some point, you know. It's just so important.
Yeah, my husband's sick of it now. I think he knows too much. He'll be on with you next time, Catherine.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? Get the male perspective.
The menopause.
My husband is he doesn't do social media, so he's just like
he's just the same. Thank God, because we saw half the stuff I do. It'd be a terrible slagging.
And Marianne, I completely agree with you. We do need to educate GPs, and I think that's something that you know, a lot of work has been done in that front as well. It just needs more. We just need more.
Exactly.
Lorraine, there was a question there for you in terms of supplements.
I see that. Susan Glanmire, supplements for perimenopause. So Clean Marine is the supplement that I've been using for the last 6 years, and for 40 plus, so perimenopause and menopause, it's Menamin. That's the one I've been using. But before that, Clean Marine for women, I have my daughters on Clean Marine for women. They're 14 and 17. They take one tablet every day. And my sisters, who are in their 30s, 20s, 30s. So from puberty to 40, it's Clean Marine for women, Susan. And from 40 plus, I have my mom in her 70s on Menamin. So because all the ingredients that are in there are the things that we should have in our diet anyway. And even though you eat healthily most of the time, which I try to do, a lot of the ingredients are lost by the time they go through 5 journeys, by the time they get to our plates. So we do need to supplement, unfortunately. But I know it's a minefield not knowing what supplement to take. And I've wasted time and we've been so disheartened, you know, and money on trying various things. And whatever the new thing is, and I'd go out and buy it and not feel anything. So that's why I love to shout from the rooftops that Clean Marine Menamin really, really works for a lot of women.
And I think Sarah's going to talk us through the ingredients and so forth. So I'm interested to hear all about that. And plus, you know, it is a great product, and it's Irish, which is great as well. You know,
and I don't want people to think, because you know, the whole promo thing, you know, doesn't sit well with me really. And I'd hate people to be looking on this going, this is the only reason they're getting together is to and it's not at all. It's because it works. You know, it really works. And I know, because I've spoken to the women, and thank you to all the women that DM me even on my Instagram regularly, telling me about how it has changed things for them. So yeah, I love to hear
I,
those stories.
I'll tell you a funny story. I was working with a woman recently, just private clients, and she told me that her husband said they live in the out in the countryside somewhere, and she said her husband would literally crawl to Cork if she ran out of Menemen because
That's
she
so
had
brilliant.
found it such a game changer, and
Oh,
obviously her husband had noticed it. But I think that's the thing. It's like we hear so much feedback, and I get feedback on everything. I get feedback on Everil Conti, on different forms of HRT, on different supplements and so forth. And I think that's where whether the ingredients in Menemen, we know they tick a lot of boxes when
yeah,
it comes to many of the
yeah,
perimenopause symptoms,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
And if you look them up, it says, it does exactly what it says,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just makes
It
sense. It couldn't
it
not
does
work.
it
Yeah,
does what it says on the box.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Well, any final note before we sign off? Because I know Sarah's going to join me in a minute. But anything you'd like to say to anyone listening?
There's a great little booklet called The Essential Guide to Female Hormones, and
Yeah.
it goes through those 5 stages of our hormonal journey as women, from girls to women. So I think if you could pick up a copy of that, grab as many copies as you can in health stores and pharmacies. It's free. You can also download it actually on cleanmarine.ie. And yeah, like, it's really important for my daughters to be educated and to be in control of their hormones, from teenagers, but all the way through. It goes through 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and postmenopause. And we have amazing experts on there giving advice in lifestyle, well-being, diet, exercise, natural health, and HRT. Dr. Mary Ryan is one of the experts on there. We also have somebody on skin and hair. So it's just really, really helpful. It's only 70 pages. It's a gorgeous little booklet. And yeah, I think you should pick up as many copies
Yeah.
as you can and just hand them out to everybody you love.
Yeah, because it's great for young girls as well. That the booklet.
Yeah,
And I sorry, just see one last question. Can you take Menemen with HRT? Yes, you can.
yeah.
Yeah. So okay, well, Lorraine, I better let you get back to it. And for
Yeah,
anyone watching, I'm going to end this one, and I'll be back on in a few minutes with Sarah.
yeah.
Thanks, Lorraine.
Say hi to Sarah for me as
Have
well.
a lovely weekend.
Thanks. You too,
Okay.
Catherine.
Bye.
Bye. Bye
Bye.
bye.